I was here in May, you mentioned the pumpkin pie. When I was here in July, the pumpkin pie was brought up, maybe by me that time. It's been about 4 months, and here, I mean, look at what's in front of me, right?
Yeah.
And this is the first pumpkin pie of the season, right?
I mean, literally.
'Cause you guys open in 2 days, right?
Yes, this is literally the first pie.
I guess let's just jump right
Ciao.
into it, yeah?
Okay. Brunch. This is brunch.
Right, yeah. It
Pumpkin
might
pie-
be 9 a.m., but
Pumpkin
that's
pie
okay.
brunch.
Oh my God. Since 1993, Pumpkin Hollow has been providing equal parts homegrown hospitality and horror to northern Arkansas. For the 2024 season, A-Corp took a look behind the curtain and got to know the Dalton family who run the operation. What makes this place so special? How does it stay relevant year after year? I'm your host, Jake, and this is Pumpkin People. So guys, it's great to see both of you again. Let's just go ahead and say we've got some construction going on. So if there's any beating around or banging that we hear, that's what that is. You're getting a new sign,
Something
right?
special going up out there.
Yeah. Now that I've got you both here together, what is it like working with your son? What is it like working with your mother?
For the most part, smooth. Sometimes I am on site, he is not. So there's a lot of back and forth, and most of the time we do well at getting a meeting in the minds. Occasionally we might have a little, I started, way back in 1993, and I might not be upgraded to the latest greatest sometimes, but I think we do well altogether.
I think we do really well.
We haven't tied up and fought yet.
What did you think when your parents told you, yeah, we're thinking of doing this agritourism
Well,
business?
so honestly, I told them they'd lost their minds.
Yeah.
So you were, okay, so you were one of the ones.
I was.
You were one of the ones who told him, oh, that'll never work.
He was a big naysayer.
We're in the middle of nowhere with no real population center close to us, But anyway.
Yeah,
got proven
house,
wrong.
the little house that was right here, he and some of his friends actually lived in it during college, and really it was almost more of an aggravation to them than it was a positive for sure.
Yeah, but I came around pretty soon.
Yeah.
I saw the potential pretty quick and got on board, but my initial reaction was not positive.
No.
I see. And then at some point you just ended up like, fine, I guess I'll buy the operation from you.
Yeah. One of our daughters kind of did see the potential a little bit, but she had been involved somehow with SBA, with somebody had tried to do something similar and they had failed, and so, I don't know, we just forged ahead. Our other daughter kind of felt like you did, like we'd all lost our minds.
Mm-hmm. I know you obviously were involved with a lot of the horror elements, but what else have you really sort of taken charge of over the years before you actually...
So I was always involved in the farming aspect of
Right.
it. Heavily involved in the actual raising the pumpkins and the physical part of it, and kind of getting things ready and mowed and cleaned up and all that. Mother, she's always been the PR and the face, and and my dad and I kind of were out here doing the work and getting everything ready. And not that she didn't as well, but anyway, that was kind of how the roles were.
We went from a total of 4 people originally, and that was my husband and my brother-in-law and my mother-in-law. That was our whole crew for actually more than 1 year, to probably 2 or 3 years. I don't remember exactly what, but then it's just a growing process with growing pains.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're going to always have those.
And growing success, thankfully.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like one of those situations where every year somehow it just gets a little bit bigger too, right?
Yeah.
When I was here the last time, you'd mentioned that the theme of the corn maze was still under wraps, but now it's up. So what is the theme of this year's corn maze?
A lot of years we have a thing, and we just know that's what we want to do. Like last year was Clay County's sesquicentennial 150th year. So the county had a logo, and we knew we wanted to do that. This year we all scratched our heads, what in the world, are we going to do? And we have partnered with our high school art teacher here at Piggott for years on projects. They do a scarecrow contest out here every year, and we furnish gourds for whatever body parts they want to use those for. And so I just pitched the idea to her. We're struggling coming up with a good idea. So she involved her art students. And so this was actually one of her art students came up with this idea. And it is like a pumpkin with a ghost sitting on it and details like that. So it was really fun. We brought her out and had photos taken. And
it kind of goes along with our Family by Day,
Fright by Night, yeah.
You know, we've kind of got both of those integrated into the corn maze. So.
Yep.
We're opening up in 2 days. What are you expecting for Saturday, opening day?
Every year on our opening day for daytime and nighttime activities, we do discounted tickets. So that's a thing. And we're bringing back for the daytime a thing that we have done a few years ago and just kind of had dropped called Kids Fest. So this Saturday when we open, we will have extra games that we don't charge anything extra for. We'll have a craft table where they can actually take a little dried gourd home that they decorate. There's a scavenger hunt. We're going to hide a painted pumpkin somewhere on this farm and let people look for it all, and see who finds it and brings it in for a prize. And we have a big Girl Scout push this Saturday, so we'll see. Looks like the weather's going to be not rainy, hallelujah.
Yeah, and things are supposed to, I think, start cooling down a bit more as well as we get into the next week. So.
Right.
We also open our haunted attractions this Saturday night. You want to talk about that?
We're excited about that. We've got some revamps. So you're going to have a little different scare than you've had before. And we've changed up our paintball some, our Grimm School bus, and we've added a new bus and a few scary features. There's a lot of people that really love haunted attractions. It's kind of like the pie. It tasted really good because I hadn't had a pumpkin pie in 10 months, you know. So it's kind of like the haunted attractions. People are really ready for haunted attractions. So the people that are really into that, they'll all be here. We figured out real early in the haunt business that you have to have a policy of no chicken out refunds.
Yep. And the sign says so.
Yeah. Because there will be a lot of people that buy the ticket and then they get up there, they just don't have the nerve.
And it's like, well, I mean, you still got scared. You got to be paid for it.
That's right.
Yeah, we decided we'd be ruined if we gave everybody's money back and chicken who got scared. So
you get always any business you're going to get a few complaints, but my favorite one is people came down and that was just too scary. Well, okay, you just paid for a ticket.
That means that you're doing your job. That means
that's the way I take it.
Yeah. So we always have good crowds our first weekend. People are kind of hungry for both the day and the night, so. And
we will have music at the midway stage every haunted night this year.
Oh, that's exciting.
Plus a couple of big, like professional grade fireworks shows on 2 nights in this season. So lots of exciting things.
Yeah, I've seen some footage of your fireworks shows in the past, and they seem pretty spectacular.
Oh, he is amazing,
As we move into things, what are you the most excited about now that we're here? Both of you. I mean, there's a question for both.
I'm a people person. I love having people come to the farm, and for the most part, people who come here are in a good place. They want to come and have fun with their families or their friends or whatever. And I like it when the doors open that first day, and here come our visitors. It's awesome.
I'm kind of the same way. I really like I'm always been a busybody. I really like when it's going and there's a lot of people and it's a little chaotic, but I can always find myself, I'll stop in the middle of that chaos and look and I'll stand up on the hill and kind of look down at everybody having fun and everything's going as it should. Maybe nothing's broken for a little while, and I'm kind of the maintenance crew or part of the maintenance crew. So when I get to stand up on that hill and kind of take a breath and just kind of look at all of it, and kind of you sit back and reflect, because I remember it as a hog farm as a child, that it's really come a long way. So.
Yeah, it has. Well, you really especially love weekends up at the haunts.
I
know.
I do. Yeah.
It's exciting. It's a whole different crowd from our daytime visitors.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I would imagine so. You and your friends, when you were in college, I mean, that was kind of how the haunts sort of started? Was you guys scaring people in cornfields? And that
Yeah, we
sort of
thought it
thing,
would be
so-
neat to haunt the corn maze,
Yeah.
and it just evolved from there.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask, actually. Was that something that you guys just decided to do one day, or did you tell them that you were going to be doing that?
No, I think we talked about. I don't really remember all the
I don't know
origins,
either.
but
You know, I don't either exactly. But there was a guy who was our haunt supervisor for a while, and he was all into this stuff. And he and some of his friends, and Jack and some of his friends, I don't know. And I guess they came to us and said, "Can we do this?" And
Yeah.
let's do it. You know.
Tell us about some of the crew that have already been here and already started working on this.
You know, one thing I would like to mention is that for our daytime crew, especially, a big percentage of them, they come back every year. And
really, we've got a few people that have been out here the whole 30
yeah,
plus years.
right? Yeah, some of them.
And a lot of 10
10
plus
to 15
years.
years. Every year I hold my breath and think, oh, I hope they're coming back there. You know, our gals that run the shaved ice stand, last year she had a new baby, and I thought, oh, and she said, oh no, we'll be there. So yay. And, you know, the gals that put this store together, they've worked here, something.
But it's amazing
Yeah.
because those people that keep coming back, it's like they take ownership in it. Like that's our area.
Right.
You know, we're
Yes.
going to be, you know. So anyway, we're truly blessed. People that run businesses, you know, everybody has trouble getting labor. And people ask me, how in the world do y'all come up with enough people to run that, you know, part-time? And I said, well, number one, most of what we do is fun.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's an enjoyable experience. Although it's a lot of hard work, it's, for the most part, enjoyable. And I said, number two, I don't know. We've just got a lot of loyal people that have been with us. And if we're short, we tell one of those people, and they say, I'll get somebody to help me and fill in, you know.
Right.
So we have lots of help from our...
Every year, one or two of the employees will say, I think you're going to have to run an ad this time. I said, not yet. I want to know who every one of these, as much as possible, and I do know our supervisors even in the nighttime. But you know, we got to come up with over 100 actors, so that's another whole animal. I don't know how to get all of those people. But
yeah, we do not know all of them by name. I wish I did, but
yeah.
Right, but I mean, at a certain point, logistically, that would be a nightmare.
Well, I mean, actually, a lot of them have come back.
Yeah, we
for
do. We have a
years
lot
and
of
years
the
that come
nighttime
repeat.
employees that have.
They love it.
There's a lot of 10-year plus employees. I would say half.
Yeah, a good percentage of them.
Are that long term.
And the other thing is too, I don't know what the percentage will be, but we have provided a huge number of kids in this county their first jobs.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And a lot of them, our parking crew, this is, let's see,
Their third or fourth
generation that our parking crew.
Yeah.
You know, they just pass it down. And,
Right, at a certain
yeah.
point, they age out and
Yeah.
someone else comes
Yeah,
in.
Yeah.
and I say, you know, what do you need, you know, in your parking area? And that's all basically I have to do because
They take care of it.
I don't have to worry about it. So, and you know, the people that we have here, a lot of these people take money, and so I want to know who they are, and I
Sure.
want to know them. And I mean, we probably missed some money over the years, but never enough that I would know if there was very much missing. So.
Right, yeah,
But
so.
they're trustworthy. I mean, several of them are teachers. They just we got several retired teachers, and this year new teachers still that want to come out and work on the weekends.
Our favorite theme. A lot of people like to work out here and make enough to buy their Christmas. Yeah, so it works good for everybody.
You always hear these horror stories of companies who are like, oh, you know, our workforce, we're like a family, which usually means like, oh, we're going to try to screw over our workforce. So I won't say that it seems like you guys are all a family here. I'll say it almost feels like a community, like
I think
a
that's
village.
that's a good
you know?
description.
It's like,
That's a good
you know, it
description.
takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to put on an agritourism event. I don't know. Look, sometimes I just pull these out of who knows where. Look, they can't all be winners.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I think I'm onto something with that.
That's right.
It's an all-year situation, I imagine. I feel like even in January, you guys are probably looking at like, okay, what kind of trade shows can we go
We
to?
do.
That
We're
sort of
we're
thing.
going to try. We have, besides our family, 4 full-time employees
Oh yeah.
that kind of work year round doing things. So
The haunt guys, they go to a haunting convention, if you can believe it. And then Michelle and I, she's been here a long time. She and I went to Boston this winter for a conference. So.
I was just in Boston a week ago.
Oh, were you?
I actually
Cool
was.
town.
Yeah, it's a great city.
we actually go a lot of years to a haunt conference in early November where the people actually leave their haunts set up.
Oh, that's cool.
And a couple of years ago, I went with them to New Orleans, and we went to 3 or 4 actual haunts at New Orleans, and they took you through and showed you all the behind the scenes. This is how we're doing it. And,
that's so cool.
Yeah, so it was really neat. But yeah, most of that is in the off season, in the winter time, and but of course we've got a lot of maintenance to do here, and
I have a lot of accounting and getting
right.
ready for tax season.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. And we've got a sizable cattle herd as well that kind of gives us a little extra something to do for through the off season. But
When we go, Michelle and I we did bus tours where you actually visit agritourism farms and see what notions you can pick up.
That's cool. I think it's cool that there seems to be a whole sort of community just sort of around agritourism attractions because I mean, there are more and more every year, but they're still, it seems like they're all kind of spread out. None of them really sort of try to step on each other's toes.
No.
So it feels like in an industry that you would think there would be a lot of competition, it seems like there's a lot of collaboration, a lot of, this is what we do that works, maybe it'll work for you, a lot of trying to build each other up, which I think is really cool and not something you see a lot in a lot of industries.
Yeah, we feel like what's kept us relevant for 30 plus years is evolving and picking up new things and adding new attractions. And, if people came out here 3 or 4 years in a row and it was there would be people that just said, let's don't go back there. That's the same, the same that it's been for years, So we try to go and see and keep fresh ideas and new, we've kept a lot of our good classic things that people love, but been able to add on, and a few of those weren't wildly successful.
Right.
You try it and it doesn't, and it's and then you kind of just go on and do something different.
And what's really odd is there are things that work in farms in some areas, and it didn't work here for us at all. And I'm sure it is vice versa the other way.
Right. It just depends on what the people in an area are looking for, I guess. Who knows, maybe it's something in the water. Just being here, even though it's a couple days before you're properly open, and seeing everything set up and kind of seeing everything outside, it's exciting. I'm genuinely looking forward to coming back in a few days and just getting some footage of everything. I think it'll be a fun time. I appreciate you guys kind of opening everything up and letting us, get behind the scenes. And
you really just came for the pie, though, right?
I might have just come for the pie, but we don't have to tell anybody that. We'll leave that off the record.
They'll cut that right out there.
Yeah, just cut it right out. I say, despite the fact that it's probably going to end up. Thank you. I will give you both a nice handshake.
Thank you.
And I'm also looking forward to dropping by, early November when you guys are cleaning up, and we'll check in with you after the season's over.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
It was worth the wait.
Yeah.
Okay, and that should be good for the cold open.
Okay.
So now I am going to finish this. We can cut here, Tori.